Lillian, hi, Jim Delapine here. I want to give you some feedback on your character here. Yeah, I keep pointing out the fact that this does not look, all the elements are not connected, because this is basically just one image on top of another, and there's no real connection from one to the other. You've got eyes, placed on top of this wooden wall piece. So anyway, I want to, hopefully you looked at all the samples I provided in the announcement area, okay? So a few things you need to do, and I want to show you how you can make this look better. You need to mask out all of the white negative space in this wooden wall piece here. Okay, I see you have a nail head here, so I just noticed that it's hard to see, but okay. All right, so first of all, let's work with the background, okay? I see you have your guides up here to show, to stay within the 6 by 8 inch area, so that's good. So let me just hide them for now. And what we're going to do is change the background. This character is basically floating in the air. I want this character to look like it's on a surface. So here's what we're going to do. Your background, the first thing you need to do is right click and rasterize the layer. Okay, that occurred because you dragged and dropped into the file here, and it creates that. Okay, so you did a fine job on your layer masks, with the exception of needing to mask out this negative space, because that shows through. You need it to show through because it's background. So if I hit Control T with the background layer active, and then hit Control 0, I note that this file is the exact width of the document, but it's higher. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hit Select All, Control A, and go to Image Crop. Okay, so it's going to crop out all the external elements or image that you see outside of this document here. Okay, and I have a reason for doing that, and you'll see why shortly. Then I'm going to click and pull this up. So as I'm dragging, I'm holding on the Shift key to constrain it, and I'll pull it to somewhere around right here. Okay, I can increment it up using my arrow key as long as the move tool is selected. Then what I'm going to do is duplicate this. So I'm going to create a surface using this background. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control J with that background layer active. That will duplicate the layer. Okay, then I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. So that's going to flip it upside down. Then I'm going to click and drag it down again. This is the top layer, and as I'm dragging, I'm holding down the Shift key. Okay, my cursor is held down, but the Shift key is held down, and I'm going to then let go of the cursor first. Okay, so now this image extends all the way down. See, so if I hit Control T, it's now out of sight. Okay, but it's still there. So what I'm going to do is go to Image. Oh, I have to put a selection around it. So Control A to select all, Image Crop. Okay, so that means now this layer here, this image ends at the bottom. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Perspective. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the bottom left or right bounding box and click and pull out. I'll pull this out dramatically. All right, so this is essentially kind of a mirrored area. It doesn't work as well with this image as it does for others, but it's going to give you now the opportunity to create what looks like a surface. So now what you'll do is create, let's say, an adjustment layer with the top layer active. We'll change the bottom surface so it looks different. And I'll go to use saturation. I mean, you could use a number of these, but use saturation. Okay, so the U changes the color. So if I click and drag that, you'll note that it's changing everything here. Why? Because it's not clipped. So watch what happens when I make a clipping mask for this. You accomplish part of the assignment using the, well, you kind of did. I'll show you shortly, but you need to make a clipping mask out of this by Alt or Option clicking between these two layers. Whoops, what happened here? I'm sorry, this layer here. Okay, So this adjustment layer is affecting now only the underlying layer, this layer here, right? I can still go in and make changes by double clicking on this icon right here, and I can make changes and it'll affect only that underlying layer. All right, so let's just say it's well, choose whatever color you'd like. Okay, I'll just choose this. All right, but now you have a surface that Fantasia Furniture Fairy is standing on, for lack of a better term. Okay, so you have that, and now you've created an adjustment layer that is a clipping mask. What you did here with the lamp is you have an adjustment layer, but it's not a clipping mask, but it works because there's a layer mask. So if I deleted the layer mask, it would affect all the underlying layers, that color. But if now you made it a clipping mask by alt clicking, okay, that is affecting only the lamp. Okay, so so keep that in mind. All right. There's a difference there. You get the same end result with the layer mask, but this is a lot less work. All right, so I don't know what to tell you about all the other elements, but you also need to have a shadow. That will be for the next step, I believe, to create a shadow. So now you'll have a shadow on the surface from this character that it will go on the floor. All right, your text, it's not really standing out. You need to delete your name. Your name is not supposed to be in there. Okay, only the text. All right, so since it's still a font, you can simply delete that. Okay. And I would suggest making this larger. All right. There's also another interesting way to do this. I have an interesting idea. So I don't know if it'll work for this, but let me hit Control T, pull this down, stretch it out, and I don't think this will work. It won't work for perspective. So I'd like to see this text larger, and then if I right click on this Fantasia Furniture Fairy, I have to have it deselected, and rasterize the layer style and the type, you could then go to Edit, Transform, Perspective, and get the illusion of this being on the surface. Okay, on the bottom surface, but of course the text would have to be larger, and the layer style is not working now. It makes it very unreadable. All right, so that's a thought there. All right, so you also need to save and select, save a selection as a channel and rename it. All right, I'm going to give you credit for the adjustment layer, even though it's not a clipping mask, but I want you to, because you're going to actually do that for this. I want you to do this technique here. This needs to be on the surface. All right, so I hope that helped, and take care. Bye.